This worksheet 16.3, page number 4. A polythene rod is hung by a silk thread from a wooden stand. The rod is rubbed with a woolen cloth and becomes negatively charged. So negatively charged. Describe and explain what happens to this rod when a positive rod is brought near it. So it's a test of what you have been learning recently. Describe and explain what you see and why. So what do you see? The two rods attract, or you can say they swing towards each other. Why is that? Why do they attract? Because unlike charges attract. Sometimes we also say that people of unlike nature, if opposites attract. So sometimes we say that. When I bring another negative rod near to the negative rod, what happens? So we know two of the same charges, they will repel. So the two rods repel, or they swing away from each other. Why is that? Because like charges repel. So we have practiced this earlier, so we are going a little bit faster. When you have an uncharged rod brought near, okay, neutral, what happens? It will be attracted to the neutral rod, and opposite charge is induced on the surface of the neutral rod. And you can also add this in, and unlike charges attract. So this is a little bit of an extra, but you can tell me after it induces an opposite charge, unlike charges attract. When a piece of scotch tape, sellotape, was being applied to a sheet of paper, the paper and the tape jumped towards one another. What is this? Attraction. Just before they came into contact, explain why this happened. If you never realize, every time you take a scotch tape, when you have a roll of scotch tape and you tear out one piece, it is actually rubbing against the styrofoam. I mean the scotch tape, the roll of scotch tape. So the scotch tape is charged and induces what? An opposite charge on the paper. When does this happen? When it's close enough. So when it induces an opposite charge, regardless of whether it's negative, positive, or positive, negative, an opposite charge, unlike charges attract, the paper will jump towards the tip. Okay, so we have been practicing this. Now have a look. This is an explain question, that's why I'm going into details. If you look at the number of marks, we are actually having 3 marks. So 1 point charge induces opposite when it's close enough. Unlike charges attract, it will attract towards the tip. Number 7, the last question of this worksheet. A polythene rod becomes negatively charged when rubbed. Okay, so it's by friction, it's an insulator. Explain in terms of electric movement how the charge become negatively wrought. So how will you move electrons to become negatively charged? Read the question carefully. So electrons definitely move from, does it move from rod to cloth or cloth to rod? Because the rod becomes negatively charged, more electrons must have gone from the cloth to the rod. That's why it's negatively charged now. And now the negatively charged rod is placed between 2 spheres P is repelled, Q is attracted. So what are the charges of P and Q? So P is negatively charged, like charges repel. This is a simple question. So please get this mark, okay? And this last one, state the unit of electric charge. Just be careful writing this. Coulomb.